everybody, this is Marie and welcome to Marie's Chatty Tarot. Today we are going to talk about the VP pick that Mr. Trump chose for the 2024 election. And it's, what's his name? JD Vance. So he's the runner up. He's the winner. It looks like there was a short list of different other potential VPs, and he's the one that Trump chose soon after the assassination attempt. I know it's a little late. I'm a little late to the party in doing the reading now, but I do have a question about that particular gentleman. Now, before um, we get started, for those interested, I'm going to be using today the Astro Matrix Tarot deck. Pretty cool deck. It was expensive when it came out, but now if you go to Amazon, I'm telling you, you can get it for cheap. No, I'm not making any money off of it, but very nice deck, very contemporary take on the tarot if you are a collector. So I'm going to have to pull my notes. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, J.D. Vance, and I hope the glare doesn't mess it up too much, name, oops, James David Vance, born James Donald Bowen in 1984, so he's a millennial. So he's known as J.D. Vance, and he became the nominee uh, for the VP position. Okay, so why? So he's married, he has 3 kids, he's married to this beautiful lady called Usha Shilukuri. Um, he's a veteran, he used to be a corporate lawyer, and so on about him. But here's the thing, what I found interesting, and the reason why I had a bell ringing in my head was because Vivek Ramaswamy, and now pause, side note, I did a video about Vivek Ramaswamy when Vivek was hot on the market, when he came about. And when I did a video, a post about him, and you can still find it on my inventory, on my catalog, the card was cagey about him. And it was not favorable, but it was not unfavorable either. And the card that came around him was like this moon card, as if there was some secrecy about that particular gentleman. And I left it at that. And I did say it didn't say anything wrong, but it didn't say anything right either. So as if he's hiding something or there's something surrounding him that's not too right. And then that's what the card said, and I left it at that. That video didn't get a lot of views. It's okay. Not a lot of people wants to hear the truth sometimes, uh, especially when it comes from the cards. Okay, whatever. Move on. JD Vance. Vivek was doing when JD was accepted. The media reached out to Vivek for comment, and he was gracious about the whole thing because a lot of people thought it was him at one point. That thought never crossed my mind because Trump likes the stage to himself. He was always going to pick somebody, I'm not saying like Pence, but in that introvert type of demeanor, like yin and yang, not somebody as flamboyant or if not more flamboyant as Trump. It was never going to happen. I didn't see it in the cards. And I think everybody kind of sort of knew that was not going to happen. If you really know Trump, the guy has an ego and he wants the center stage for himself, which is okay, understandable. Nothing wrong with that. So, anywho, fast forward, and I know it's a little long intro, but stay with me, people. When Vivek said, "Oh yeah, I knew them. We met in college," and I think he alluded, and I don't know if I'm right on this. You may have to double check that there were college roommates, and that soon as I heard that, it kind of rang a bell in my mind. Not a red flag, but something of concern, because Vivek was in the pharmaceutical industry. That's where he made his million. Okay, nothing wrong with that. He may or may have not brushed shoulders with the cabal. I mean, if you have to make it to at that level, of course, you have to rub knob with some of the elites. Okay, whatever. We're not gonna focus on Vivek. Again, already did a video on him. You're gonna have to check it out. But when Vivek mentioned that, oh, him and Vance, they go way back. They used to be um, uh, roommate or they know each other at Yale. And then soon after on Telegram, if you're not in Telegram, I would suggest that you consider downloading Telegram and following some of the truth seekers, Anon, they go by different names, digital soldiers. And they have mentioned that Vance used to be working for this company called Ambrosia, and that Ambrosia was this pharmaceutical company that dealt with blood or uh, it alluded. So those articles, those researchers have alluded that he may or may have not dealt with adrenochrome, the company in itself. Again, I didn't really look into that, but curious mind wants to know. Not about the adrenochrome. You're gonna have to do your research. If you don't know what that is, I'm not gonna. I want to post this on YouTube, so I don't want to go too much on that rabbit hole. I'm gonna have to pause and do some research on that. But it's a no-no. It's not pretty once you find out the truth about that. But then I've also rubbed shoulders with some of those cabal elites at one point. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. You at Yale, you make a certain connection. You have to move the corporate ladder. Probably didn't know what kind of product he was moving. Whatever. Let's give the guy the benefit of the doubt. But let's see what the cards have to say about him in particular, right? Um, the, I have no opinion on the matter. I'm just curious to see what the cards was to share. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he chosen for a particular reason? I know personality wise, he's not flamboyant. And, you know, I can understand if Trump wants a running mate that's a little bit more subdued, a little bit more serious, or uh, have the decorum, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, I'm also concerned because soon after that he was chosen, a group of people were not too happy, certain people in the community, that he was the one that was chosen. I think a lot of people thought that maybe um, General Flynn would have been picked for that position because, uh, he was baptized by fire as well, just as Mr. T. And I know another group, uh, like the Tucker Carlson, the Alex Jones. As soon as his nomination came about, the news came about, they went to Twitter and they're like, "Yeah, he's a good candidate." Like everybody, it's as if there was a talking point that everybody was like, "Yeah, let's get on that bandwagon. Let's root for that guy." And I thought that was interesting. That was a little pushy salesperson for me. I'm like, huh, you know, the girl that protests too much kind of feel. Like they were pulling all the heavyweights. They're like, yeah, we want everybody to love this guy. A little too fast, too soon. Give us a chance to get to know him. Let's date the guy. Let's see if we want him, right? It's as if they were really pushing us to choose to be okay with Vance. All right, so I've said my piece. Let's see what the cards want to say about Vance, right? Long intro, I know. But so the questions have to be asked because I'm incredibly curious. Let's see what the cards wants to say about Vance. And why Vance? Because a lot can happen between now and November. And as we've been seeing, developing stories galore. It's so hard to keep up. So again, let's go with that. Right? Let's see what the cards wants to say about JD Vance. Okay, Queen of Cups. So I'm using the Kachina spread. A lot of tarot users in this circle kind of use it. Laura Views and Laura's Tarot and Laura Views and Tarot too, and Janine Marjo. So you should check them out for sure. Their YouTube channel, they're pretty awesome. Janine is no longer on YouTube. I'm sure you're gonna find a pirated version, but she's on Rumble and behind a paywall as well. So if you're interested, okay, huh? This is interesting. Oh wow, there's a lot of god damn. Okay, so the first card is the Queen of Cups. Um, so while in the Magician underneath, so the Queen of Cups is usually really is a person that's overly concerned, that really pays attention, and I think as soon, kind of sort of makes sense. As soon as the attack on Trump by this leftist uh shooter uh posed as a Republican uh came up, a lot of people like, oh shoot, they really tried to kill this man. And that I think subconsciously, and everybody was like, well, if it did happen, who would have taken over the mantle? Because it happened on a Saturday, the event, J13. And then that Monday, what, the 15th, Trump announced his VP. So I think emotions are high. People are like still concerned about Mr. T and what had occurred and everything. And and that information, that news came about. And but interestingly, this is the card, the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is, sometimes exaggerate things. So it's as if this feels very ploy. It's giving ploy. It's giving that, oh, why you're you're paying attention on something. We're, we're sliding in this information uh, to distract. It's as if his choice of a VP could have only been allowed, uh, accepted because Trump was was attacked on. Because any other way, people may have not have accepted him as well as under normal circumstances. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but stay with me because the card is trying to say something. Ten of Cups. Tens are ending. This is situation, representing the situation as it is right now, is an illusion. So it looks like whoever this guy is, this guy is an illusion. I'm not saying that, I don't know if it's real or not, but maybe his position as VP is probably, maybe he's a placeholder because the card underneath is death. Not death as in dying, but death as transformation. So maybe he's holding the place for now until another person can come about. This can mean different things, but those two cards is illusion, is trickery involved, is that no, all is not what is seen. So those two cards by itself. So the only way is because there were some people who were not for Van, but it was not a lot of grumbling because everybody was still talking about the J13, the attack on Trump. Okay, I get that part. So there was that information, while people were still high in emotion, they slid in that information with the magician. But it looks like things, Ten of Cups, is there's some illusion. Uh, they're presenting an image right now, and things are not what it seems. And things will change eventually. Transformation, like change, like maybe uh, revelation, like a new beginning, as if maybe somebody else. Because this is not death, like dying, but transformation, like something new might come about, not him. Devil in the past. So again, in the recent past, it looks like he was dealing with some shady people, because the devil, which is interesting, uh, is deals with excess. Anything bad, negative, lower chakra, everything bad. For me, this card, when I have it, when I see it, is literally the devil, the bad stuff. So he was probably dealing with people that he should have not been dealing with, and purposefully decided to engage with that particular group. Okay, fine, whatever. He has a past. Probably not great looking past, but a past nonetheless. Okay, we're going to move on. We're not going to dwell too much in that. Sun card in the present is saying that, you know, sun is the truth for me. Like, the truth is coming to light. Information is going to come out about him, or about his feeling, or about his past. Maybe more is going to be divulged or shared, or somehow, some way, that info is going to come about. Um, And I think some information has already come about, because if you go to Telegram, like mentioned, some people have started doing some background uh, information, and found he's dealing with this company called Ambrosia. Again, Ambrosia deals with blood, and if you look further, adrenochrome, and if you do more research about adrenochrome, not not a pretty rabbit hole to go to. You're really gonna have to keep it together as you go deeper. Six of Swords. That's the conclusion. That's the that's the potential outcome, that either he um, rescind, or he decide not to pursue, or you know change his mind, because the Six of Sword is about going away. uh Six of Sword, and then the transformation card, death card. I mean, I hope that's not my death card, but it's saying that you know something probably would have occurred in his life that you know forced him to move away from that position, or from that nomination, or from that whatever, uh, to leave the scene. Now, I do have to note that somebody, I don't know who it is, and I don't remember the shooter, and I don't remember the Telegram channel, so you may have to double check. And he said that when Vance was at uh, the event, that the nomination for the primary for Mr. T in Milwaukee, I think. Maybe I'm getting it wrong, but somebody mentioned that I was a. It didn't look like him. That it looked like it was a mask. So I wonder if this is alluding to the fact that he's gonna get out of the scene. That this is that if that's an actor, if that's a nod when that person leaves the scene, that he's no longer playing that role anymore. And for those who don't know, uh, there are doubles out there. There are clones. They do exist. You're gonna have to look at the video that I did a while ago about clones. They are out there. They do exist. And there are also doubles, people that actually wear like a silicone or synthetic mask over their face, and they will assume the role of a character. And you're gonna have to look, really pay attention, use your discernment, and you will find the truth somewhere. Now, I have not really paid attention to that gentleman, so I don't know if what this truther has been saying is real or not, because I'm not really invested in the whole thing. So, with that being said, in the past, he has dealt with the bad stuff and knowingly by choice. And the truth is going to come out eventually. Some information, either about that or something about it, that's going to uh, cause a pivot for him to leave the scene permanently. Uh, but in the meanwhile, then the magician is saying that, okay, they're going to play the game until that time comes and or that information comes about. So I'm going to take two cards, High Priestess and Nine of Cups. So High Priestess, so right now, uh, information about him is going to be hush hush, tight lip until Nine of Cups, the time comes, right? Nine of Cups is usually high vibration until, you know, um, uh, the truth come out, or until, the right moment, when everything is favorable. But for now, it's going to be on a lockdown mode. So I'm going to leave it at that. And for good measure, I am going to ask any other, what else does the card wants to share about this JD Vance gentleman? Uh, what else does the card wants to share about this JD Vance gentleman? Oops, the struggle. I'm gonna have to cooperate. Okay, let's see what else the card wants to share about this JD Vance fella, because he's being propped up pretty, uh, you know, by the power that be. We want him being accepted. I wonder if it's a message of sort. So what else does the card wants to share? The Magician again. I mean, you guys have seen me really High Priestess. Okay, so the cards, haha. So it created a stir when he was chosen. Okay, so I'm going to start. Uh, so they're creating a narrative around this gentleman, and somebody is working very hard to, have him be accepted, have him be, you know, forcing it a little bit too much, pushing this, because this is a working, or somebody is working overtime to have him be the guy, the VP. Okay, we've seen that. Okay, and I've noted that. Magician. So um, this is my propaganda card, that you know not being truthful, and there's a reason for that with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is about secrecy, but it can also be about self-reflection. So now is the time. Probably gonna have to do some research about that guy a little bit more. Follow the money kind of thing, right? Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. But if you are, please comment below and see what you find about that JD Vance gentleman fellow, if you can. Or putting a link or a YouTube video where we can find more information about this gentleman. But it seems like there are plenty. And uh, eventually, with that Six of Pentacles underneath, say that the truth and for some information is going to start trickling out about him, because Six of Pentacles is about, it could be about money. It could also be about evidence. It could be about, sharing of knowledge, information, but something very tangible, and maybe financials record, or maybe, paper trail, right? Money, follow the money thing. So it might kind of give more light about this guy, shed more light about him. Okay, cool. So in the past, Five of Wands, so there were some, created some conflict within the MAGA community, that he was chosen. Again, hardcore people really thought it would be General Flynn. And if you follow, what's his name? Uh, Phil, Phil G. He's on Rumble. Um, he had mentioned General Flynn to be the guy until recently. Something clearly had occurred, may or may not be falling out between Trump and General Flynn. I'm not too sure about that. Probably gonna have to do a video on it. If you guys are interested, comment below, let me know. Anywho, um, conflict within that. And card in the middle, King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles. So he's somebody, King of Pentacles. Usually when I see this card, when I get this card, it depicts somebody who's wealthy, who's well to do, and who has the chance uh, to be successful in life, who had a chance to uh, create uh, uh, generational wealth for himself and his family. And I say, what the question is, what other information? So this guy is doing well for himself. Okay, I think we kind of sort of knew once you do his Wikipedia, and once find out that his relations to uh, uh, being at Yale, knowing Vivek. So he's clearly with the right circle. So it would assume, of course, if you are with the right circle, you know, do very well for yourself. But the other way you can look at it is that major information is going to come out about him, surrounding him, and that information is gonna come out in a way that's gonna be very kind. It's gonna be very digestible. It's gonna come in a way that's not gonna overwhelm people too much. So it's as if to say, so whoever's controlling the plan, and it sounds like it's the good guy, it's everything is orchestrated in a particular way, because it's coming in a kind way, in a way that it forced people to pay attention, to really do their homework. It forced people, and it's going to share the information, because that's what this group has been doing. They have been dropping information in a gradual way, uh, but consistently. That there's no time for you to take a break. There's no time for you to find for example, to this, nobody has gone to jail for what happened to J and J13 about Mr. T. We've moved on to the next uh, to the next issue, to the next story that's on the screen. So is that like, they throw squirrel, and you're forced to turn your attention to that squirrel, while there's another, you're always on the move. But all of this is being done gradually, even though it doesn't feel like it. The pace has been picked up a bit, but it's still being uh, uh, pushed gradually, so that that is digestible, that you can follow along to the story. Like if this was a soap opera, even if you're late to the story, you can still follow through, because the way that they put in the information, you can still be able to pick it up. Oh, Those are the characters. This is what's going on. This is what's gonna, so you can follow along the storyline. Okay. Okay. So, um, summary, there's some funny business that's going on. The card didn't want to express too much, but they really want you to pay attention. And that, yeah, there was some conflict with choosing this gentleman in particular for this role, but it looks like either information. So he is wealthy, so probably gonna have to follow the money about him, and also there's probably information that's gonna come out about this particular gentleman. So this is layered. So it's gonna be him being financially wealthy. Probably gonna have to look at his book, do an audit, whatever. As for his financials, so people can look down the trail, what's going on with him. But at the same token, information is also going to come out, but it's going to come out in a way that's very gradual, very digestible. So, if you pay attention, if you really pay attention, you follow the money, or you follow, the trail of evidence where it leads you, you will find the truth because it's being given to you. And again, more information. Oops. And that is gonna once the information come out, a lot of oops. So again, once more information come out uh, about him, a lot of people are gonna turn away from this particular gentleman in general. So they're gonna change direction, pivot away from Vance once that truth information comes out. Okay, thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much to my current and new uh, subscribers on Rumble, on YouTube, on BitChute, on Locals. You guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have no idea. I know I don't post as often as I should, but I'm trying to get back on the horse because I know things are going to get hectic between now and December and beyond. Uh, Another video for another time. But hang in there, guys. I hope that you are thriving. I hope that you're maintaining. I hope that you're surviving. All of the above. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.